Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA.
The WNBA just lost its biggest star, and they have only themselves to blame. Caitlin Clark is sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain, the first time she's missed a regular season game since her sophomore year in college.
Clark will miss at least the next 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The Fever are currently 2-2 on the year. Clark has started all 4 games so far and is averaging 19 points, 9.3 assists, and 6 boards per game. The Fever said more updates will be provided after doctors reevaluate her.
What's really frustrating is this injury might be linked to quad tightness from the preseason that never got the attention it needed. Was Clark playing hurt all along while taking constant hits from dirty players and being overlooked by biased refs? The timing couldn't be worse, and the league is clearly scrambling. Let's all wish Caitlin a fast recovery. Drop a get well soon CC in the comments below. Let's go.
Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight. Caitlin Clark's out 2 weeks.
Was Caitlin Clark playing on an injured leg this whole time while everyone ignored the signs? The evidence is stacking up, and it's seriously frustrating. During the May 24th game against the Liberty, something felt off. Her shots kept falling short, and that usual burst in her long-range game just wasn't there. But what really should have set off alarms? Cameras caught her using a heat pack on her leg mid-game. You don't need to be a doctor to realize she was already in pain.
Literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing.
Coach Stephanie White admitted after the MRI results that she didn't even know when Clark got hurt. Let that sink in. The team only realized something was seriously wrong after getting a message from Clark post-game. White said, "I'm glad that she did because we need to nip this in the bud," referring to Clark finally speaking up. That says it all. Clark had been keeping her pain to herself.
At the game, Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured. And ironically, that is probably the best case scenario. That is probably the best thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a bad thing. And trust me on this, it is probably the best case scenario that she's been actually playing through this and she was able to play through this fine.
Let's be honest. This wasn't some random injury during the Liberty game. Clark sat out the Fever's preseason opener with left quad tightness, and now she's dealing with another quad issue in the same leg. The team keeps claiming it's unrelated to the earlier problem, but seriously, when the same muscle gives out twice in one season, that's not a coincidence. It's a pattern.
Maybe this will be the wake-up call that the WNBA needs to clean up the officiating, to actually show that they appreciate this golden goose that has landed in their lap that goes by the name of Caitlin Clark. It's been so long where we've just seen this girl getting beat up in games. We see her get grabbed, hacked, bumped into, knocked on the floor. There's never any whistles from it.
What makes this even more frustrating is that Clark has been taking constant physical hits for 2 years straight, from her rookie season through the start of this one. Defenders have been allowed to grab her, knock her off screens, and hit her with hard fouls, all while refs look the other way. She's been absorbing contact every game that would easily draw whistles for other players. The targeting is clear, and the officials have done nothing to protect the league's biggest star.
What was that play? Oh my God, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack!
White's comment about great players hiding injuries really says it all. Clark felt the pressure to keep going, no matter how much discomfort she was in. She probably thought she could tough it out like always, but this time, her body gave out. The scary truth is that she's been playing through pain while taking hits from defenders who knew the refs wouldn't step in to protect her.
The league is still resentful of her, it's still jealous of her, and it's still trying to put her in her place and give her nothing, make her earn something that she already earned last year when she put this league on the national map. For the first time ever, it was really, really and truly on the national map.
This injury was totally preventable. Proper rest after the preseason strain, better officiating to stop the targeting, and a medical team catching the warning signs could have stopped this from happening. Instead, everyone ignored it while the league's biggest star broke down. Now the WNBA is living its worst-case scenario, and their panicked reaction says everything about how much they rely on one player.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television, is out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, more like 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, because remember, that's when she gets reevaluated. More like 4 to 6.
Within hours of the injury news, the WNBA's worst fear came true. League leaders, who had been riding high on Clark's popularity, were suddenly staring down empty seats and falling ratings. The panic hit fast and hard. Teams that had bet big on Clark's star power now face the real threat of serious financial losses.
Already seeing people saying, I'm taking a break. I'm already seeing people say, I'll be back in a little bit. These numbers are going to go down. The owners are going to walk into those negotiation rooms feeling themselves. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... Again, they're lucky this is only a rumored 2 to 4 weeks. Because if the news was the season, people would tune out 100%.
The Washington Mystics had already shifted their upcoming game against the Fever to a bigger arena in Baltimore, counting on the huge crowds that follow Clark wherever she goes. Now, they're facing refund requests from fans who bought tickets just to see her play. What's really embarrassing is having to tell those disappointed fans that the only reason for moving to a larger venue was one player, and now that player won't be there.
There is one thing, no doubt, that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that move their games, this is about to be catastrophic for them. And it's kind of funny.
The Chicago Sky took an even bigger risk by moving their Fever game to the United Center, home of the Bulls. This huge arena upgrade was meant to highlight the league's growth and popularity, but now it looks like it could be a disaster with thousands of empty seats. Picture the image of a nearly empty United Center during a nationally televised game. That's the kind of embarrassment that can hold a league back for years.
That's the Baltimore game. I believe that's about a 15,000 seat arena situation. This one's at the United Center in Chicago. Good luck getting anybody there. Seriously.
Here's what should really scare WNBA leaders. Their whole revenue system relies on a 23-year-old player. The May game between the Fever and Sky set a record as ESPN's most-watched WNBA broadcast, pulling in 2.7 million viewers and peaking at 3.1 million. Those numbers didn't come from love for the league. They came because people wanted to watch Caitlin Clark. CBS Sports and other broadcasters are already expecting a huge drop in ratings. Advertisers who paid top dollar for games featuring Clark are likely having tough talks with their media buyers right now. The league built its entire marketing plan around one player, and now she's injured.
The wake-up call the WNBA needs, Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now we are going to see what you guys, not just the Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can churn over without her.
Attendance forecasts for upcoming Fever road games reveal the tough truth. Without Clark, these matches drop from can't-miss events to regular WNBA games with smaller crowds. Teams that had planned big promotions and expected sellouts are now facing half-empty arenas and let-down fans. After 26 years, the league finally found its superstar, but failing to protect her is costing them dearly. The financial scramble behind the scenes shows just how much they rely on Clark's star power. And while the league worries about money, something even uglier was unfolding online as news of the injury spread.
A lot of you are like, this is perfect. All right, because the WNBA accused the fandom and gave validity to some online trolls. Oh, by the way, I wonder if the WNBA has given validity to some other online trolls.
While true basketball fans felt upset, some corners of social media acted like it was a victory. When Caitlin Clark's injury was announced, there was a wave of awful celebration posts, especially from Angel Reese fans and Chicago Sky supporters. They were actually happy that a 23-year-old player got hurt. Think about that for a second. These toxic reactions showed a dark side of women's basketball. Posts cheering Clark's injury spread on Twitter and Instagram, with some users openly admitting they were glad she wouldn't play against their teams. Others made cruel jokes and even accused her of faking the injury for attention. The amount of hate aimed at one player was truly shocking.
Are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury? There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. And these are all people that are in the "we don't hate Caitlin Clark, we just hate her fans" crew. No, they don't. They hate Caitlin Clark. They say we hate her fans just so that they can have an excuse. They hate her. They hate her.
This nasty behavior ties right back to the season-long abuse Clark faced on the court. Players were allowed to grab her, push her off screens, and hit her hard with no penalties. Officials ignored those cheap shots, and now the toxic fans are cheering the result. You can draw a clear line from the rough play she endured to the ugly celebrations online.
You have got people out here wishing ACL injuries on Caitlin Clark. You have got people out here celebrating. Like, if you look at the quote tweets of the Indiana Fever tweeting Caitlin Clark got injured, the amount of celebratory tweets you've seen, the amount of celebratory tweets, and like people like celebrating that she got hurt. And the only reason I have to say this is that side of the fan base people are being told that does not exist, that does not happen. And it's clear as day because the public.
The WNBA's failure to protect Clark let this toxic environment grow. When a league allows players to target her physically without any punishment, it sends the message that Clark is an easy target. Fans see their favorite players getting away with cheap shots and feel justified celebrating when those moves finally hurt her. The poor officiating helped create a culture where hurting Clark became okay.
Got the media out here. Again, Elle Duncan has gone full on unhinged, it seems. Like, obviously, Caitlin Clark fans have called out some of her stuff, so now she's gone fully, it seems like she's fully gone anti-Caitlin Clark fans. She's gone and attacked them. She's on a tirade.
Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's failure to act on the targeting shows leadership at its worst. She never stood up publicly for her biggest star or addressed the clear pattern of dirty play. Her silence gave everyone a green light to treat Clark like a target instead of protecting the player who brought huge attention to the league. The inconsistent foul calls during Clark's rookie season, which have continued this year, tell the full story. Players could grab her jersey, bump her off screens, and hit her hard with little penalty, while Clark got called for the tiniest mistakes. Referees created a space where defenders knew they could play rough without consequences. The league that let bullies hurt their star deserves every problem it's now facing. The toxic fans celebrating Clark's injury show the culture the WNBA built through poor officiating and weak leadership. Now, the Fever must find a way to push through their upcoming games without their superstar.
The difference is that one of them are called, one group are called the scum of the earth. And because of that one group, every single person that is a fan of Caitlin Clark is called by the media not too far off the scum of the earth. And one group is, according to the media, not real. This is not real. This did not happen. None of this is real. So that's just my opinion on this all. My opinion on all of this is that everything's wrong. All of this is wrong. Everything when it comes to the WNBA media is just crazy.
With their star players out, the Fever face their toughest challenge yet. They're up against Washington, Connecticut, and Chicago. teams they should handle if they play well. But here's the hard truth. The Fever's offensive rating plummets from 107.5 when Clark is on the court to a shocking 82.2 without her. That's not just a drop, it's a complete collapse.
I think so. I think that's the advantage of our depth, right? And we, Sophie had injury early as well. I think it's the advantage of us, the depth that we added in the offseason, that we're equipped. Certainly we'd rather have it early than late. It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity. It's a great opportunity for our team to play in a different way.
Coach Stephanie White knows what needs to be done and is already planning to spread the offense across several players. She said, "It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity without Caitlin." In other words, the team has to show they're more than just one player. Now, everyone has to rise to the challenge when it counts the most.
I also think it's a great opportunity for Caitlin to watch the game from the sideline and to grow in almost like a coaching kind of mindset and see some different things that we might be talking about on film, addressing in practice to see it develop in live action.
Aaliyah Boston is now the centerpiece of Coach White's new game plan. Boston averages 18.5 points and 10.8 rebounds per game, but last season, 39% of her plays came from post-ups. This year, that dropped to just 18.3% as she focused more on rolling to the basket and pick and rolls with Clark. Without Clark running those plays, Boston needs to get back to dominating inside. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell will take on a bigger role, handling primary playmaking while keeping up her scoring. She's been the Fever's most reliable offensive player besides Clark, and now she has to prove she can lead the team when the pressure's on. The ball will be in her hands more than ever.
I don't think we change how we play. I think we change what the emphasis is, right? Our off-ball actions as opposed to some of our on-ball actions. When we get to our on-ball actions, utilizing our personnel in a different way. You might not see as much of AB getting the ball on a dive and a pick and roll as you would in some of the other off-ball screening actions that get her to that point. Or where our shots come from. A lot of times with C and the ball in our hands, our shots are coming up off the break, right? Now we might get the ball moving inline to inline when we're moving it side to side. So I don't think it changes how we play. I think it just changes the emphasis on the actions that we get to.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall now have their chance to step up. Both have been solid players, but they'll need to raise their game to help fill the scoring gap. The Fever also brought in veterans like Natasha Howard, Sydney Carlson, and Dana Bonner during the offseason to add depth. Now it's time to see if that move pays off. Coach White finds a silver lining in this setback, saying it gives Clark a chance to watch the game from the sidelines and develop a coaching mindset. Clark can learn from a fresh angle while her body gets the rest it needs.
So many things when you think about Caitlin and her not wanting to miss games. Obviously, she's a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play. But for me, it's maintaining perspective, right? It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect long term, that we take care of it. Don't over push, don't overexert, making sure that we take the long game approach to this, so that we're not having lingering issues throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that, sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. I'm glad that she did, because we need to nip this in the bud.
Coach White is taking a long-term view, saying they want to handle this so it doesn't hurt Clark down the road. No rushing, no pushing too hard, just careful care. This unexpected break might actually help Clark grow and avoid bigger problems later. The Fever's depth and coaching will face a real test, but getting through these weeks could make them stronger when their star is back. The WNBA created this mess through neglect and bad officiating, letting dirty players target their biggest star while refs look the other way. Now, they'll see ratings drop and arenas empty. Proof of what happens when you fail to protect your golden goose. But here's the hopeful part. Clark will come back stronger after resting and learning from the sidelines. She's never missed games before, so this break could boost her long-term growth. When she returns, she'll be hungrier than ever. The Fever will be battle-tested after surviving without her, becoming a more complete team ready for the playoffs. Let's wish Caitlin a fast recovery. Drop a get well soon CC in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.